bottom left is that's a dude.
This
Sorry.
is awful. I looked at this earlier.
That sucks. That's a terrible costume.
But look at the butt and the tits. Not a dude.
Yeah, but those are average tits, and the butt is not very flattering there. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not flattering at all.
Well, you know what they say.
That's true. Wow, man. We played for like an hour, and we're halfway through.
Yeah, we're almost done. We've almost finished.
That means we have an hour left.
We've almost finished in Cape Bishop.
Hold on a second. I'm going to need you to rewind for a moment. So, just to make sure I've got your verbiage correct here.
Yes.
You said we have almost finished.
Cape Bishop. The DLC.
Right.
That's what I said.
Okay, no. It seemed like the first time you said it, you said we have almost finished in Kate Bishop. And I just...
No, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Why
That's
would
why I
I
was
say
going to
that?
ask for clarification.
No, Kate Bishop is a DLC and also a respectable character.
No, of course. And,
I don't know why I'd say that. Why would you even think that, actually?
No, I didn't think... I must have misheard you. That's
as a feminist, that very much upsets me.
No, I don't want to do that. Listen, I don't want to get canceled on Twitter or on Tumblr or TikTok.
I can even take you to Parler.
I've got a great
now.
TikTok, and you shouldn't do this.
I could even take you to Parler. Follow me on Parler.
What's
Link in
Parler,
the
dude?
description below. It's a Twitter alternative.
Gosh, that sounds awful, dude.
You're awful.
Wow.
Everyone thinks you're awful.
I
No
have
one
heard
likes
that.
you.
Wait, hold on. No one?
Nobody.
Yeah, well, it's not unreasonable.
But I do.
Really?
That's like when Kylo Ren's like, "You're trash. You're nothing. You're garbage. I hate you. You're dumb, but not to me." Remember that?
He said, "I hate you."
No, I
but
didn't.
not
say
to me.
I don't know. I don't really remember what he said, to be completely
You're
honest. with you.
stupid, dumb idiot. And everyone thinks so.
Oh wait, I need
But
to.
I don't.
I spread the rumor, but I don't think.
Yeah, dude, it was me telling everyone that.
I need to go grab these little, activities to do.
You missed
here.
one. There you go. If you go back to, there's like a little, I don't know.
Computer.
There's the ATM, yeah, where you can get the Inhuman
Yeah,
stuff.
I know all about that.
Dude, I'm an
I'm a
expert
big
with
fan.
Avengers, and that's...
Look, it's right here. It's the Inhuman Alliance Network.
You know, I forgot to
Racist,
tell you,
but
this is the only
interesting.
game that I've been playing ever since it came out.
You know what's funny? You and I went back and played this for fun.
Yes, it feels a little weird to say, a little sacrilegious after all the
Yeah, but we played co-op a little bit.
heat I gave it last week.
Yeah,
Last
what was
time.
with that? Why were you so mad at the game?
Dude, the game made me mad. And this game, I'm not quite as mad for this session, if you will. It's still got plenty of glitches. It's still got plenty of issues. But I played a mission or two by myself. I'm trying to get Thor leveled up, and I didn't hate every second of it. I had a decent time at certain points. I would say the Hive missions are a little bit annoying just because they take a little while. Like, they take a long time to get through each floor. But I didn't hate it. I had a decent time in some aspects of it. So, I think I'm going to ease up just to... Wait, go back. That was it.
I couldn't find it before. I just couldn't see it. But
Boom.
now we got it.
We got it.
The origin of the mysterious tachyon pulses has been narrowed down to a secluded area in Siberia, the country that always gets thrown under the bus in fiction.
Yeah, what's with the disrespect towards Siberia?
Other than Russia, just in general. Russia in general is always the bad guy in games.
Yeah. Does no one like
Yo,
Russia?
Dr.
What's up
Pym.
with that, dude?
I don't know.
Got news about
Do you
our
like Russia?
Tachyon
Take a
situation?
stance right now.
Yeah, the good kind. Thanks to your efforts, I've succeeded in locating the origin of the tachyon storms. These pockets of unstable time are all emanating from one central point.
Ooh, somewhere nice, I hope. Spain, Italy, Wakanda.
Not quite. We traced the disruptions to an AIM black site near a hydro dam in Siberia.
Oh, mysterious.
Didn't really like the way he
So
said
if we
black.
shut down this facility, does that mean we'll stop all these time disruptions from happening?
Tachyons are highly unstable. Let's see what we're dealing with first.
All right, recon it is. You, sure you want me leading this, Cap?
You know more about this situation than anyone. I trust you. And if you're ever not
You
sure
just
what to
met
do,
her.
No, they knew her when she was a kid.
That's a little weird, isn't it?
Weirder that Iron Man wants to bang her, but
yeah, it's
just
kind
a
of
little bit.
weird.
Let's do this.
Do you like my earrings, yes or no?
I'm going to need a firm stance on this as well.
Look, one thing, didn't really like the way Hank Pym sent some of that dialogue, like I said.
Yeah,
It was just kind
that's
of
some
weird how he
weird,
worded that. Also, not a big fan of your question about Russia, because if I had to collude with anyone, I'm not saying I'd collude with Russia, but I'm saying if I had to.
But, yeah, okay. It seems to me that you're keeping the door open, and that's fine. Opportunities present themselves. Would you collude with Russia?
Well,
All right, think about it. You don't have to answer now.
I'd have to
answer
think
now.
about it. I'd have to think about that.
All right. Yeah. What do you think?
I'll get back to you in 69 years.
Got him.
Yeah,
That's not a bad.
We're approaching the hydro dam.
You have a plan, Kate?
I just figured we'd wing it.
What?
I'm joking, dude. Have a little faith. Okay, we take out the comm tower first, then sneak in and inspect their safety violations.
What's going on with that cursor?
What do you mean?
It just seems like you're. It just seems like it's really weird the placement that it's, and it's always moving in where, where the characters are. It's not. Are you moving that?
No, I'm not doing that. That's the game.
The game's doing that?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's really weird. So,
Wow. Look at the sky. That can't be good.
The tachyon disruptions are affecting the atmosphere.
Okay, so.
Why do they keep saying tachyon?
They think it's cool.
Past and future sky?
More like radiation trails.
Oh, good. I feel much better about going outside now.
Do you think if they
Okay.
keep saying tachyon more and more that it'll make the story better?
I was hoping so.
All right, cool.
I'm not sure though. I mean, like I'm holding out on it,
Okay, yeah.
just in case.
You're holding
No.
out. Oh.
That's the answer. My answer is no.
All right, cool. All right. Problem
Ooh, do we
solved.
have some kind of nameplate? What do we have here? That one's
Tons
dumb,
of options here.
Dumb, more dumb.
those are
the one I
terrible.
have. That's fine.
I don't like any of the other ones.
Nope, not a fan. All right, what do we got here? What are our challenges for the day? Defeat enemies with the decoy heroic ability. I can do that. Defeat enemies with a ranged attack.
That's all you do.
I can do that. Defeat 25 enemies without being downed. I can do that. Rescue hostages. Okay.
Unlikely.
So check this out. I never saw this before, but there is a premium version of this. So you could buy this hold for additional rewards. And so what this does is it makes it so that you are able to get these things that say activate card. You don't get anything that says activate card without paying for it.
Do you have to pay for that for each character, or is
Yes.
that? Oh, you do.
Yes.
So they.
Anything that says free, you get. Anything that says activate card, you don't get.
So you don't get those new costumes at all.
No, but you do get. Let's see. You get this bow check.
That doesn't look any different. Okay.
And you get this one, which, to be fair, this is my favorite costume next to the one I'm wearing. So I'm glad I get this, because this is the only other costume I wanted other than this one.
The other
but-
ones aren't that great. That final one, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of that one.
This one?
Yeah.
I hate that.
I think it looks pretty bad. But
I mean, no, yeah, not a fan of that at all.
That's
But
pretty terrible.
I do really like this one.
yeah, that one's great. It's kind of a Catwoman-y from Arkham. You know what I'm saying?
No, not everything has to be about Arkham. You're like the people who subscribed and won't watch anything except Arkham.
Do you know what Thor reminds me of?
Arkham?
Yeah. That's it.
I had a little weird hiccup there. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. We'll have to move past it somehow. So,
How's your week been?
dude, it's been good. I've been trying to platinum Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. It's been a great time. I've really been enjoying it. It's a bit more grindy than some of the other ones, but I've been enjoying that. That's been cool. Other than that, I've been watching Star Wars Rebels, and that's been an adventure. The first season was pretty good, and then season 2 really, just popped off right away. So that's been awesome. And then the finale of Mandalorian comes out tomorrow. So I'm excited about all that. How is your week?
So you're
been?
becoming a big Star Wars fan.
I really am, man. I'm starting to try to learn more about like the history of it, and understand like all the terms and like the battles, and I'm really actually trying to like get into all of it, because there's a ton to get into that I really didn't realize. So the Clone Wars are definitely my favorite era, is what I'm figuring
I think
out.
that's almost everybody.
That makes sense. Yeah, there's so much that
Where's-
happened.
I thought I saw a optional objective nearby.
I think
98
they're both
meters?
past the
Wow.
bridge, I think. Maybe. But yeah, man, I've been learning a ton, and it's been really cool to learn more about, like, for me, Darth Vader and like Anakin, and how that all, like, how he became Darth Vader, and how Rebels kind of transitions directly from Clone Wars into that almost. I think there's like a couple year gap there, but it's pretty cool. I'm not digging the art style of Rebels as much. Like, that's not been my favorite, but I've been enjoying the rest of it.
You know, I actually like the art style of Rebels, but I do agree it's not as good.
Now, Clone Wars is great art style.
Yeah, and I was looking at it. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think they had about it was less than half of the budget for Rebels. For some reason, Disney gave them less than half of the Clone Wars budget to make Rebels. I have no idea why. It was a dumb idea, but that's what they did.
That doesn't make any sense, because it's still a good story, you know? It's just, that's, I guess, the one thing that's been not my favorite.
Well, it makes even less sense when you realize how much money Disney has. Dude, there's so much crazy stuff going on with them. Did you see that there was, I'm going to say alleged. There was reports that they allegedly, like, cooked the books on their financials to make the pandemic not look as bad.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, oh, no, actually, I guess it would have been, no, it was recently. Maybe it was, like, right at the beginning of the pandemic. I don't know when it was, but one of their heads of, not marketing, but analysts that does their numbers, what do you call that again?
Like
accountants?
Accountant, yeah.
Yeah, one of their main accountants came out and said, like, hey, I have information that they cooked the books, and they, basically what they were doing was they were double charging stuff to make more money off of things in write-offs. And this is all alleged. I'm just telling you what the rumor is, okay? Because I don't have proof.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get in trouble, but I can talk about what has been reported. And it's essentially that they would be like this, hey, we're going to give away this $500 gift card for whatever. And so usually you could write that off as a business expense for $500, but they would also allegedly write it off once it was spent. So they were writing it off twice every time they do these promotional things. And the allegation is that it's a couple $2 billion.
What?
Yes. And now that allegation has kind of just gone away, unless something else comes up again, you know, between posting this and when we recorded it. It's just kind of been dropped. It's very odd.
So, I guess I'm
making sure I'm not rolling over my cord behind me.
Were they just hemorrhaging money, and that's why they needed to do this? I didn't think they were doing that bad. I know the theme parks,
they're doing very bad.
Really?
Yeah, because the theme parks is actually where they get the majority of their money.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but they make a lot off the theme parks. Yes, they make a lot off their movies, too.
And their merchandising is what I figure, like merchandise, and I mean Disney Plus, and there's just a ton of revenue streams in there. But their theme parks are their biggest moneymaker?
One of them. Okay. I don't know if it's their absolute biggest, but you have to think, they do not just have Disneyland and Disney World. They have like probably a couple dozen theme parks, like smaller in different areas. And yeah, there's tons that people don't know about. They run more than the main two. And they make a lot off of it. And it's almost all profits because it's very cheap because they've had the expenses down on lock for like a whole generation of wealth now. So it's not like they had to move in and become profitable from the ground up. They're doing good. They were doing good off of that. And now they are not. Now they are really not.
I guess that's crazy to me. I knew that they had laid off a bunch of employees from the theme park, right? And that was like a big problem.
It is like 30,000 people supposedly are on furlough.
From the theme parks?
Yeah. With about 5,000 people being permanently laid off. As of right now, at least.
Wow.
Increased damage and impact when shooting the enemy. I don't really... reduces fire scatter shot, and I don't really use that much. Oh yeah, speaking of that, by the way, this is a thing. So, there's different types of arrows I found.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it is neat.
That's cool. I do like that, yeah.
I haven't really needed to use them much, but they're there. So, that's cool.
That's pretty dope.
Let's head over and grab this real quick. But anyways, yeah, now this is all alleged, and I don't actually know if it happened. I haven't seen any proof for or against it. I've always stood more on the, if it happened, then prove it, you know?
Yeah.
With anything, because I don't think it's really fair to pick and choose. Like, well, no, innocent till proven guilty, but Disney pissed me off. therefore they're guilty. It's like, that's not really fair. There's a lot of stuff they've done that I don't like, but show me the evidence that it actually happened, and then I will fully believe it.
Right.
However, in my personal opinion, does it sound like out of the realm of possibility? No. You know, not at all. I mean, this is corporate America, and people find corners to cut, would be the nice way to say that.
Well, I think people get desperate when a pandemic hits too, and that alters your decision making, that alters what you think you need to do. It's, I guess, with Disney, it's just shocking because you think of Disney, you think of a never-ending pit of money.
And nice people and childhood memories.
Yeah,
That's how they've built their brand. But if you really look at the nitty-gritty of it, there has been a lot of stuff Disney's done that you could say, in your opinion, is questionable, that you don't agree with, too, you know? Like business decisions and problems apparently going away when, like, legal things are brought up, or settling out of court every time there's some kind of problem, or running people out of money in court on purpose. This is a lot of stuff that it seems like, in my opinion, they've been doing for a long time. And it's a shame because I don't think Walt would be in favor of some of that. Now, he was very capitalist, but he was also very, the customer comes first because capitalism doesn't work with no customer. You know?
Yeah.
I don't personally think the company is like that anymore as much. And I don't think any company is like that anymore as much. Well, that looked bad. But, and that sucks, but that's just kind of how it seems, I guess, from the outside. Especially because I watch a lot of stuff from Disney insider channels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who work at the company are not happy with it for things that they've done or things that they've allegedly done or mistreatment of employees. There's a lot of allegations for this company over the past 2 decades that you wouldn't have expected, even in the early 2000s, mainly since Bob Iger took over. That's been when a lot of this stuff has come up that seems to really be like, ugh, you know, or like, if that happened, that's bad. So, I don't know. It's frustrating, too, to me, because I don't want to believe it, because from the outside, I really like the stuff they make.
Yeah.
And I want to believe that they're, like, all nice people, and they, you know, like, really care about entertainment. But at the end of the day, I think that some of that older attitude of business of, like, you know, art matters and the consumer really matters and all that stuff, some of that style of business is kind of gone right now, because it's like, well, there's 7 billion people in the world. You're one person. Suck up, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. I'm not saying that about Disney. I just think a lot of companies have that attitude now because there's so many people. And it's like, if you don't like it, leave. You're not going to find anyone else.
Well, that's kind of what it feels like, I guess. It's unfortunately, it kind of feels that way, that's how society's been pushed a little bit, too. We live in a society, but it's like...
Yeah, Joker, dude.
It's,
Here, take my card. I can laugh now. That woman on the bus never gave him back that card in that scene.
Yeah,
did she keep it?
Yeah, what was up with that? Why did she keep it?
I don't know.
She just gives it off to people?
What a douche. He gets in trouble for stealing a sign. She steals his medical card. No worries.
Yeah, after he makes a nice little joke to her kiddo. I mean, just a disrespectful... I hated her guts the whole movie. But
I did too. Sorry, I'll let you talk now.
No,
Sorry
of
about
course.
that.
No, it just feels like that's kind of the mentality, I guess, that's happened, though, is that it's kind of everyone for themselves, almost, is what it's become quickly. And it doesn't, I don't really, I guess I can't pinpoint a time of when that happened, but it just kind of feels like that's how it's been for a little while now. And it's kind of a dark place to be, you know, as a group of people.
Well, it's much more dystopian.
Yeah.
Because it's much more like, you don't matter, your money matters. Give me your money. And as soon as you're not worth anything, see ya.
Yeah.
I never have liked that, and I do agree with you that things have gone too far in that direction. Well, that's what you and I were talking about this too. I don't think capitalism works without any heart. You know? I mean, it can for certain people, but if you have no spirit behind it, no American dream, no compassion, wanting a better life for everybody, taking a chance on people sometimes, you know, like, even convicts is a good example of this. Somebody gets a felony charge and they're just cast out of society permanently. They can't get a job ever. Like, we've gotten rid of things like reform and being a better person and help your neighbor. Those values are gone. They're preserved in certain religions, but even most of those religions have kind of collapsed in on themselves as like a self-righteous shell of what they started as. And so it's kind of like everybody... it sounds like I'm being black-pilled here, like really depressing. I'm not trying to say that.
This is depressing.
But I'm just saying it seems like there's a lot of... people are more interested in looking like a good person now than being one. When it comes down to being one, it's too hard, it's a lot of effort, it's complicated, life is not black and white, it is extremely gray, and those things are hard to deal with, but it's easy to look like a good person, whether you're a company or a person on Twitter or wherever, saying good things, but to actually do those things, to go out of your way to help somebody, to give up your personal gain once in a while, not all the time, not communism, but once in a while, to help those in need around you. Those things are difficult, and they're not being taught very well. We're teaching people how to not get in trouble and how to look good, but not how to be a good person and not the reason to follow the rules. Now people follow the rules and look good so that they can make money off someone, or so that they can virtue signal or look like a decent human being and build up their ego, but they don't do it because it's right.
It's just a lot of patronizing is what it feels like. Just to I guess, show that I'm a good person still. Look at me, I'm a good person. I think that's part of the problem, I guess, too, is that it's so easy to not have accountability for your, I guess, selfishness per se. If you were to, be selfish and just kind of focus on yourself, and it's just a everyone for themselves kind of mentality. You don't have to face an accountability because you can just kind of stay in your house and just, that's it. You can get everything you need from inside. You don't have to really interact with anyone if you don't want to. You can kind of just do your own thing, and that's fine. It's almost encouraged. Like, don't you want to work from home, and don't you want to just do your own thing and not engage with others? I think it's almost kind of encouraged to a certain degree. So I think that's maybe part of it too. Is there's no like social accountability per se all the time either.
I completely agree. And it sucks because those things are bad for people. I don't care if you like working from home or not. I work from home, but you need to get out. You need to talk to people. You need to spend time with people.
Yeah,
you can't not do that. And yes, you have the legal right to not do that, but you're hurting yourself. Human beings are not meant for isolation. They're not meant for all of their interactions to be online. They're not meant for all their friends to be online and nowhere else. Society, if you want to, take the meme, has gone in a bad direction with those things because it's encouraging unhealthy behavior. Mm-hmm. And it's encouraging unhealthy social attitudes as well, because I was talking to my mom about this as well. Even in school, we don't teach kids anymore how to be a good person. And the reason for that, in a lot of times, is because the easiest avenue to do that through in the past was religion. Whether you dislike or like religion, it was the easiest avenue to do. Because at the end of the day, you could fall down on, well, why should I do this? Well, because it says here in this book, and this book is true, and there's not a debate on that. You could have like a objective end point to an argument. You can definitely argue you disagree with that religion, and that shouldn't have been the case. But it was useful at times to also build up a common social fabric and do not lie, do not cheat, do not steal, do not kill. Don't be jealous of your neighbors and what they have, and don't do this and that. And it worked for those things, and when we got rid of that, we didn't really replace it. What we replaced it with was, here's why you do these things, because it's the law. And the law teaches people that if they can get away with something bad and not get caught, then it's not a problem. And there's going to be plenty of people who go through that system and are still good people who have, a conscience, who know that it's wrong. But there's enough people that are just born wrong or not nurtured, and their parents definitely didn't care at all about them, who weren't taught right and wrong, who you can tell, like, they're just off.
Yeah.
Who don't care about the law because they care about it to the point where they will get caught. And I think that's why we see a lot of these people and companies and all this stuff acting the way they do, is because we've taught the lesson that what matters is you don't get in trouble. It's not the morality of anything. And if you can find that morality somewhere else, more power to you. I'm not saying like bring Christianity back to schools or Judeo-Christian beliefs or Islam or Buddhism or anything. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that when we took that out of society, we kind of ripped it out of the societal fabric, and we did not patch anything in there. We just acted like the hole wasn't there anymore. And it never went away. It just didn't. So instead, now we have people who don't believe in anything at all. I'm not even just talking about like a religion. I mean anything. They don't believe in objective morality. Everything's subjective. Maybe that's wrong for you, but it's right for me to cheat with my, secretary and banger. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I get it's wrong for you. It's just very easy to justify anything under the current attitude.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Is that it's there's not really something that people look to. It's just kind of it plays into that every man for themselves. Well, whatever is good for me, and don't worry about it. That's just what I'm gonna do, and that's. I mean, I don't know. It's got its pros and cons, I guess, but I think it's mostly cons, just because it's people have gotten so self-absorbed, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think
not that we're the superior moral, guidance teachers here.
No, I am.
By any means, but it's just an interesting discussion.
No, me.
Oh, you are.
Follow everything I do.
That's right, dude. Our Lord and Savior, Degenerate J.
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying though too. That's if you ever want to learn something really interesting, and I'm not trying to sound self-righteous at all. Research postmodernism. It's very interesting with all of this. When after World War I, especially when kind of all these people came back from, World War I, obviously.
Right.
I don't know what I'm saying here, but they came back from the front lines and all this stuff. And there was no Geneva Convention. There was nothing. Dudes would see their friends get mustard gassed and like blow up and die in front of them. They would see all kinds of horrible, horrible things. People would come back crippled for life. The people who came back able-bodied had such bad PTSD. They didn't even know what it was at the time. They called it shell shock. Only years later did they fully figure it out, and they're still learning about PTSD, by the way. These people would come back from war, and it was a weird crossroads where science was starting to diverge from religion a lot, and the people who were coming back from war were like, well, there can't be God or any of this stuff that I believed in, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen all this horror. Why would a good thing allow this to happen? And so it was this weird... I'm stuck, by the way.
I was going to say, you're not moving, man.
It was a weird convergence of, like, a societal shift along with war coming together in Europe to change the beliefs that a lot of people had. And America had it later, but it sort of diffused worldwide in a lot of ways. And the problem is, in a lot of societies, when those things were gotten rid of, they didn't really think too much about what they were going to put in its place or the purpose it served. It was just... well, we know the truth now. The truth is science. And so we're going to go with this. But they didn't think about, like, well, what purpose did this serve? Like, let's say that it was a lie. Let's say that all belief in anything extra was a lie. They never stopped and thought about what that lie did, whether it was a lie or truth or whatever you want to believe. They just said, well, we found a better answer. But that answer didn't fulfill some of the same boxes that were checked by the previous one. And so now you have a different society, essentially, but never a movement to address it. And we've never had one. We've never had a movement to really answer postmodernism at all. If anything, we've become more postmodernist over the last 50 years. Just further and further. It never changed. There was always shifts, It was always like, oh, well, now we have more of a focus on nature. Well, now we have more of a focus on this. It was always this stuff through literature and art and societal beliefs, but since postmodernism, it's all been postmodernism. Well, modernism was similar, and then postmodernism, and then it's just kind of gotten further down that path. It's really complicated.
It is, man.
I guess is what I'm saying. And I don't want to come off like, hey, if you don't believe in this, you're a bad person or anything like that. I've met people that are atheistic that are much better people than some of the Christians I've met. I've met people that are Christians that are much nicer than some of the people who are atheists that I've met. I've met, any number of religions, people who believe in Buddhism that are extremely kind and nicer than half the people you'd meet at certain churches. It all comes down to an individual. But the thing is, individuals have to believe in something outside of themselves, whether it's spiritual or not. And I don't think a lot of people have anything to believe in. Society is very sad and empty in a lot of ways. I don't think there's a lot of answers. And I think that's why we see more and more division, is because people are inherently tribal. They throw their weight behind a group. And before it was religion, that was very easy. Now it's political. That's easy, you know? I mean, what's it going to be next? I guess that's kind of the question. Because they always want to find a group.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, and the group definitely has become political. And it feels like it's been in the last, 4 or 5 years. It's when it's really become insanely tribal. Because I don't remember, maybe I'm not remembering correctly because I was younger, but when we grew up, I don't remember anything being like this tribal, where it was like you pick a side or you're a bad person on either side. It's just like there's legitimate animosity for someone that has different beliefs than you, and that's a bad place to be, man. It's not great.
Yeah, and also, did what I said make sense? Because I'm not trying to advocate for a specific belief system. My point is that it would have been the same way if everybody believed in Buddhism, by the way. Mm-hmm. And that was their societal core fabric that held them together, and then it was replaced. It would have been the same way. Just very jarring for people.
No, I think what you're saying made sense 100%, dude. Yeah. I think it's a very layered, complex thing to process and kind of work through and understand, but it makes sense, dude. I get what you're saying.
It's very complicated, and
The busted robots?
I think the sad thing is that people at the very least could find some level of hope in each other if they wanted to, but a lot of people don't. They don't trust each other. Everything's become so tribal that people don't want they do want belonging, but they don't know where to find it, and they can't find it in other people because of how tribal we've gotten. So it's very difficult of a problem to address.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all of that aside. That's why I hate you.
No, yeah, that makes sense. All roads seem to point there, so I'm glad we got there finally. That's really.
And me too, because I was really waiting. It's the unified theory of everything.
Wow, man. Yeah. Is your hatred for me?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think that does make sense, really, because I think without a core belief system, no one would be able to hate me as well as they should be able to.
And that's why our core belief system is we all hate you.
Cool, man.